It's done. Just confirmed at Newcastle. Shocking updates coming straight out of St. James Park this morning. And fans won't believe what's unfolding behind the scenes. One major target who humiliated Real Madrid could be on his way to Tyneside in a deal worth over £40 million. Meanwhile, there's a twist involving Eddie Howe that's got Manchester United legends talking, and a worrying new report has revealed how serious the Premier League's financial situation has become. It's a huge day for Newcastle fans, with breaking headlines that could change the club's future both on and off the pitch. If you want to stay ahead of every update, every rumor, and every official confirmation, then don't miss out. Hit that subscribe button right now and join our growing black and white army. Alexander Stroff has suddenly become the name on every Newcastle fan's lips, as reports from Spain claim the Magpies are preparing a stunning £44 million bid to bring him back to the Premier League. The towering Norwegian forward, currently at Atletico Madrid, embarrassed Real Madrid recently with a brilliant equaliser in a thrilling 5-2 derby win. That performance reignited interest from several English clubs, but it's Newcastle who seem most determined to act. After losing Alexander Isak in a record-breaking deal, Eddie Howe knows his side desperately needs a proven striker who can lead the line and bring back that missing spark in front of goal. Stroff's career has been quite a rollercoaster. Many remember his underwhelming spell at Crystal Palace years ago, but few realize how much he has grown since then. In Spain, under Diego Simeone, he has developed into a complete striker. Physically imposing, technically sharp, and deadly inside the box. Last season, he made headlines by scoring the fastest hat-trick in La Liga history against Real Sociedad, a feat that caught the attention of scouts all over Europe. Now, Newcastle believe this is the right time to strike and secure a player who can truly deliver goals. The club's goal-scoring problems this season have been clear for everyone to see. Despite Nick Woltemade's impressive start, with 3 goals in his first 4 Premier League games, the team has struggled for consistency in the final third. Anthony Gordon and Anthony Elanga have shown flashes of creativity, but the overall attacking output has been far below expectations. With only 6 league goals scored so far, Newcastle sit among the lowest scorers in the top flight. Eddie Howe has admitted that finding the right formula up front remains his top priority heading into the January window. Behind closed doors, Newcastle's recruitment team has been working tirelessly to identify realistic targets who can make an immediate impact. Stroff fits the bill perfectly, experienced, affordable by Premier League standards, and available for transfer if Atletico Madrid agree to negotiate. The club's scouts have reportedly attended several of his recent matches, including that famous clash against Real Madrid. They were impressed not just by his goal, but by his overall link-up play and his tireless work rate, qualities that Eddie Howe values immensely in his forwards. The Norwegian's aerial strength could also complement Newcastle's attacking style perfectly. For Stroff, a move back to England could represent unfinished business. His previous Premier League stint didn't go as planned, and many critics doubted he'd ever return to the top level. Yet his performances in Spain have silenced those doubts completely. He's now seen as one of Europe's most underrated strikers, capable of scoring in big matches and delivering under pressure. Newcastle sporting directors believe his hunger to prove himself in England again could be exactly what the squad needs. Someone with both quality and motivation to lift the team's attacking standards. Eddie Howe, while not commenting directly on Stroff, has hinted that the club will be active in the next transfer window. "We're always looking for ways to strengthen and add the right players," he recently said when asked about potential signings. That line alone was enough to fuel speculation among fans who are eager for a new attacking hero. With the club's ownership group showing willingness to invest, and financial fair play limits under control, the timing might be ideal to finalize a major signing that can define Newcastle's season. However, Newcastle will have to convince Atletico Madrid to sell. Simeone has praised Stroff publicly, calling him a fantastic finisher and a vital part of the squad. The Argentine manager is known for holding on to players he trusts, especially those who deliver in key moments. Still, with the striker reportedly unhappy about limited playing time, there's a sense that both parties could be open to a deal, if the price is right. Newcastle's initial proposal could reach €50 million, £44 million, enough to make Atletico seriously consider their options in 2026. Fans have reacted positively to the rumor, seeing Sroth as a realistic and exciting target. Social media has been buzzing with compilations of his La Liga goals, and many believe his physical style suits the Premier League perfectly. The idea of pairing him with Woltemade or rotating the two depending on the opponent has been widely discussed. Supporters remember how successful Howe's system can be with a strong centre-forward leading the press, something Sroth naturally provides. His combination of height, pace, and clinical finishing could finally restore that lethal edge Newcastle once had with Isaac. Of course, transfer rumours are never straightforward. Negotiations in January often depend on many moving parts, injuries, finances, and timing among them. But sources close to St James Park say this pursuit is genuine, not mere gossip. Newcastle's ambition is to ensure they remain competitive in the league and in Europe, and adding a striker of Sroth's caliber is seen as essential. Whether it's a permanent deal or an initial loan with an option to buy, the intention is clear. Eddie Howe wants more firepower, and Sroth is top of the list. If the move goes through, it could mark one of the smartest signings of the season. Sroth's experience, maturity, and recent form make him a near-perfect fit for Newcastle's project. After years of rebuilding, the club is now ready to act decisively in the market. And for Sroth, returning to England under a manager like Howe could be the opportunity to complete his redemption story, from Premier League flop to Newcastle hero. Fans are already dreaming about it, and if this deal happens, it could reignite the Magpies attack just in time for the crucial months ahead. Eddie Howe has found himself in the spotlight once again, but this time it's not because of Newcastle's performances. It's because Manchester United legend Paul Scholes has publicly declared that Howe should be the man to replace Ruben Amorim at Old Trafford. Despite Sir Jim Ratcliffe's support for the Portuguese coach, speculation over Amorim's future continues to swirl. Scholes, speaking on the overlap, left no doubt about his preference. Eddie Howe, definitely him, he said. His comments have sent shockwaves through both Newcastle and Manchester, raising questions about Howe's long-term future on Tyneside. Scholes' admiration for Howe isn't new. He has often praised the Englishman's ability to rebuild clubs, highlighting how he transformed Newcastle from relegation candidates into Champions League contenders within 2 seasons. According to Scholes, Howe represents the type of modern, forward-thinking manager the Premier League needs more of: tactical, disciplined, yet able to connect with players on a personal level. For Scholes, Howe's man-management skills set him apart. He makes average players look good and good players look great, Scholes once remarked, reflecting the respect many in football now have for the Newcastle boss. While Scholes is full of praise, not everyone agrees. Fellow pundits Roy Keane and Gary Neville have publicly supported Diego Simeone as the ideal candidate to take over at Old Trafford. They believe United need a strong hand to bring discipline and structure back to the dressing room. Scholes, however, sees that as outdated thinking. He wants someone who can build from the ground up, just as Howe did at Bournemouth and Newcastle. It's a fascinating divide among former teammates, and it's reignited the debate about what kind of manager United really need in their current crisis. Eddie Howe, for his part, has remained completely professional amid all the noise. He's refused to engage in speculation, focusing instead on Newcastle's progress and upcoming fixtures. When asked directly about Scholes' comments, Howe simply smiled and said, "I'm proud to manage this club. My only focus is Newcastle United." That response, calm and respectful, only increased admiration for him among fans. Many supporters feel that Howe's loyalty and humility are rare in today's football world, traits that make him both a great leader and a person of genuine integrity. Ruben Amorim, meanwhile, continues to feel the pressure at Manchester United. His time in charge has been turbulent, with inconsistent results and tactical confusion frustrating both fans and pundits. Despite a recent 2-0 win over Sunderland, his record of 19 wins in 50 matches has raised serious concerns. Critics argue that his 3-4-3 formation fails to get the best out of stars like Bruno Fernandes, Kobbie Mainoo, and Benjamin Eko. Even with Ratcliffe's backing, doubts persist. For many, it feels like only a matter of time before United's board considers alternative options, and Howe's name keeps resurfacing. Inside Old Trafford, discussions about potential successors have reportedly taken place, though unofficially. Besides Howe, names like Xavi, Oliver Glasner, and Simeone are also mentioned. However, Scholes' strong support for a homegrown English coach has struck a chord with fans who long to see the club rebuilt by someone who truly understands Premier League football. They see Howe as the ideal bridge between tradition and modernity, a coach who respects the game's roots but embraces innovation. His track record at Newcastle, especially in developing younger players, fits perfectly with United's long-term vision. Back on Tyneside, Newcastle fans have mixed feelings about all this talk. On one hand, they're proud that their manager is being recognized by some of football's biggest names. On the other, they worry that continued success might eventually draw him away. After all, Newcastle have seen this story before. Ambitious projects interrupted by bigger clubs poaching their key figures. However, sources close to Howe insist he remains fully committed. He sees Newcastle's project as unfinished business, and is determined to keep building the team into genuine Premier League title contenders. It's not just Howe's tactics that have earned him respect. It's his calm authority and human touch. Players often describe him as meticulous but approachable, a coach who demands high standards without creating fear. He's known for individual meetings where he focuses on personal growth as much as tactical detail. That kind of management style has created a strong, unified dressing room, something that Manchester United, ironically, are missing right now. Perhaps that's exactly why Scholes believes Howe is definitely the man to restore order and spirit at Old Trafford. If United were to make a move, however, it wouldn't be easy. Howe is under contract at Newcastle, and the club's hierarchy have no interest in letting him go. Under the new ownership, they view him as the architect of their progress and a key figure in their long-term vision. Any approach from Manchester would likely be rejected outright, unless Howe himself decided to pursue it, something that currently seems highly unlikely. For now, all indications suggest he's focused entirely on continuing Newcastle's upward trajectory. Still, the idea of a Premier League giant like Manchester United targeting a Newcastle manager shows just how far Howe has come. Once seen as a young coach with potential, he's now among the most respected tacticians in England. Whether or not he ever ends up at Old Trafford, one thing is clear: Eddie Howe's reputation continues to rise. And as Newcastle aim for another strong season, his leadership remains the foundation of everything positive happening at the club. For supporters, the hope is simple: that he stays, and the project keeps growing stronger. A new financial report has shaken English football, revealing the shocking levels of transfer debt across Premier League clubs, and Newcastle United are no exception. The analysis, conducted by The Athletic, examined the latest available financial data from major European sides, comparing how much each club still owes in unpaid transfer installments. The results are eye-opening. Manchester United topped the table with a staggering £345 million in net transfer debt, followed by Tottenham and Chelsea not far behind. For Newcastle, the figure stands at £64 million, placing them 12th overall, a number that's expected to rise once the most recent transfer dealings are fully accounted for. The concept of transfer debt might sound confusing to some, but it's quite simple. When clubs buy players, they often agree to pay the fee in several installments over time rather than in one lump sum. This means that even years after a transfer takes place, clubs can still owe significant amounts to others. At the same time, they might also be owed money from teams who purchased their own players. The difference between what they owe and what they're owed forms the net transfer debt. The report suggests that the Premier League's overall debt in this area is now alarmingly high. Manchester United's position at the top of the debt table isn't exactly surprising given their transfer habits in recent years. The club has spent heavily on players such as Antony, Jadon Sancho, and Casemiro, all on massive fees and long contracts. According to the report, United still owe nearly £183 million of that before June 2026. That level of financial obligation places considerable pressure on their cash flow, especially in a time when on-pitch results haven't matched the investment. For fans, it's a stark reminder that big spending doesn't always bring big success, and sustainability is now a growing concern. Tottenham and Chelsea also find themselves high on the list, with net transfer debts of £279 million and £266 million respectively. For Chelsea, their aggressive recruitment drive since the change in ownership has been a major factor. Todd Boehly's spending spree has seen over £1 billion committed to new players, often on 8-year contracts to spread costs. Yet, even with that strategy, their outstanding transfer obligations remain enormous. Arsenal, on the other hand, appear in a much healthier position, with a net debt of just £22 million, showing that careful financial planning can still coexist with on-field ambition in the modern game. Newcastle United's number might look modest by comparison, but context is everything. Their £64 million transfer debt reflects both smart business and a club still in transition. The Magpies have balanced their spending carefully under financial fair play restrictions, avoiding the kind of reckless commitments that have haunted others. However, it's widely believed that this figure will rise once their most recent transfers, including deals completed this summer, are added to the accounts. Still, compared to many rivals, Newcastle's situation remains manageable, proving that sustainable growth remains at the heart of Eddie Howe's project. Financial analysts have warned that the Premier League's collective transfer debt paints a worrying picture of overspending. Across Europe, English clubs dominate the list, with only a handful of continental sides even close to their numbers. The report notes that while clubs like Bayern Munich and Real Madrid maintain healthy balances, Premier League sides have taken greater financial risks chasing success. For Newcastle, the challenge will be to continue investing wisely without falling into the same trap, ensuring that their rapid rise under new ownership doesn't lead to long-term instability or financial vulnerability. For supporters, these figures serve as a reality check. Many fans call for new signings each window, but few realize how complex the financial landscape has become. Transfer debt can limit future spending, restrict squad upgrades, and even affect compliance with UEFA regulations. Newcastle's owners, led by the Public Investment Fund, have adopted a patient approach, preferring long-term planning over quick fixes. It's a strategy that's frustrated some impatient fans but earned praise from experts who see it as the right way to build a lasting football dynasty on Tyneside. Eddie Howe's management style complements that philosophy perfectly. Rather than demanding blockbuster signings, he's focused on developing the players he already has. Under his guidance, the likes of Sean Longstaff, Anthony Gordon, and Sven Botman have improved dramatically. By relying on team structure and tactical discipline, Howe has kept Newcastle competitive even without spending at the level of traditional giants. That disciplined approach could prove vital as financial pressures continue to mount across the Premier League. Newcastle's strength lies in their stability, something money alone can't buy. The report also raises questions about UEFA's upcoming financial reforms. New regulations will soon tighten limits on how much clubs can spend relative to their revenue, effectively forcing teams to live within their means. Newcastle, with their growing global fan base and increasing commercial income, are well placed to adapt. While others scramble to balance their books, the Magpies could benefit from their prudent management, positioning themselves as a model for financial responsibility in the top flight. It's a sign that the club is thinking long-term, both on the pitch and off it. In the end, the numbers tell two stories, one of risk and one of restraint. Clubs like Manchester United and Chelsea have gambled heavily, while Newcastle are proving that measured progress can be just as effective. £64 million in transfer debt might sound large, but compared to the chaos elsewhere, it's a sign of control. The Magpies' steady rise shows that success doesn't have to come at the cost of financial sanity. As this new report makes clear, Newcastle are walking the fine line between ambition and stability, and right now, they're getting it absolutely right. What an incredible set of updates today, Newcastle fans. A possible £44 million move for Alexander Stroth could finally bring back that finishing power we've been missing since Isaac's departure. Eddie Howe continues to show why he's among the best English managers in the game, calm, intelligent, and loyal to the black and white project. And while others drown in debt, Newcastle's smart financial planning proves this club is being built the right way, brick by brick. So what do you think, Magpies? Should we push hard to bring Stroth to St. James Park? Does Eddie Howe deserve full backing to lead Newcastle into another European adventure? And aren't you proud to see our club growing with both ambition and stability? Share your thoughts in the comments below. You're the heartbeat of this journey. Wait, before you go, check out this breaking video from Newcastle.